All right. Don Daniel, Peel Method International. How are you, Don?
I am doing well, Demetrius, and thank you so much for inviting me to share this time with you today.
Oh, wow. I'm so excited. We've been trying to pull this together for a minute and we finally got it together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the Welcome with a Vision Tour Wave Talk with Mr. Don Daniel, author, keynote speaker, trainer, coach. What else can we put on those accolades, Don? You just got so much going on.
You can't forget husband.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's number one, right? Number one, husband. Hello, hello. You got to put that thing together. Don, I'm so excited that we've been able to work together. And for those people that are new, have never had the opportunity to be on the Walk of the Vision tour with us on the City tour, we pulled this thing together in 2019 for 2020 to teach people about getting their sales back in order financially, in their health, in their lifestyle, in their way of thinking. And Mr. Don Daniel was gracious enough to be on this tour with us from city to city, teaching people how to eliminate debt. Hello, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited we had the chance to bring this virtually right now. So I'm going to hand this off to you. We're going to talk candidly about some stuff, but I want to also ask you this. What does the P.I.L.L method stand for? That P-I-L-L, what does that stand for?
Okay. P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal. Now, you know that you can pay principal at any time. Prepayment of principal talks about what happens when you do. Okay. So
Right.
here's the thing. This is the only place where we can do this is in banking. That we give the bank money, we don't know what we get for it. So I don't know how many of your viewers have experienced this, but you've paid extra on a mortgage or extra on a credit card over and above the minimum payment, because that's what they say. Don't pay the minimum, pay extra, and then or on your car loan or student loan. Okay, now
Right.
when you do, you're saving time and you're saving interest. Correct?
Right.
You just don't know how much.
That's correct.
And that's a problem. Banking is the only place where we give money and we don't know what we're getting for it. In fact, if you go to the store today, go to your grocery store and buy something on sale, don't they list it at the bottom of the receipt how much money you save?
Yeah, they do. I love to see that savings.
So when you pay extra at the bank on your loan, how come they don't put that on your receipt how much interest you saved?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a very good question. And here's the other thing. We didn't even know we could ask. It didn't even occur to us to ask. We just give it.
That's true.
Okay, that's the P, prepayment of principal. You need to know what happens when you prepay. We tell you. We teach you how to figure it out. I stands for isolating the principal amount, meaning when you pay extra on the loan, you want to pay a specific amount to a specific
Mm.
loan in a specific month on a specific day to maximize your savings. And no one talks about that but the P.I.L.L method, isolating the principal amount. Our computers figure that out for us. Leverage, okay? The,
Wow.
the
Okay.
first L is leverage. Now, when you pay a small amount of money towards your principal, you want to know what big amount of interest you're saving. And I'm telling you, it only takes a little bit to save
Hmm.
a ton of interest, and that's why the banks don't want us to know. And then the last one is liquidity. All of your money's working together. Every
Mm.
every single penny that's not earmarked for something else, we can tell you how much that penny is worth, canceling interest. We want to put all your pennies to work.
Wow. That's what I'm talking about. Put
And
all of it to work.
put all the pennies to work. All right. So when the pennies are working, you can save a ton of interest, so much so that you could cut your interest cost by about 75% and pay off all of your debt. That's student loans, that's mortgages, that's credit cards, that's everything in an average of 7 to 9 years, not 30 years to never.
That's
Oh,
big.
wait a minute. It's even bigger than that. You can do it without changing your budget. You can also do it without sacrificing lifestyle. You can live well while you're getting out of debt.
So you're saying that we can actually do this without changing our current budget. How did you
That's,
figure this out? How did you figure this out, Don?
well, listen, um, I don't know if anybody's heard of Asperger's, but it is a mild form of autism. I don't have a finance degree, but when I look at an amortization schedule, how the banks figure out how much interest they save, I see patterns that other people don't see. And then I'm saying, well, shoot, if you did this instead of that, you could save a whole bunch of money in interest you don't have to pay. And so God has just blessed me to
Wow.
share that with others. Oh, wait a minute. Ta-da! And it turned into a book. Listen,
I love it.
the thing, listen, God has blessed me so that when with my I didn't know I had Asperger's and ADHD when I was in school. I just thought, I'm trying to get all this work done. I couldn't get it done. Do you know I never turned in a term paper or any kind of paper while I was in school?
Wow. Wow. That is crazy.
Never did. And now, as a grown man, you got to write a book. Say, what? I never even wrote a paper. What are you talking about? Write a book. Because people need to know the truth about this. Do you realize that what's going on now is called financial victimization? People are being victimized. Financial
Mm.
violence. I mean, when we don't know what is happening, we don't know what we don't know. May I,
Wow.
may I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Okay. If you knew, this is how much violence is going on. If there was a company out there that took advantage of a family that said they wanted to borrow about $7,000, and then and they wanted to borrow it for about a year, and the company charged them about $13,000 in interest for about a year on a $7,000 loan. What would you think of that company?
You will put me in that position to answer that question.
What would you think of a company that did something like that?
Well, that happens all the time. But when if you don't know, you don't know. And
Mm-hmm.
you just really don't know, to think anything other than I got the loan,
Right,
and I'm blessed to have the loan.
right.
But if you look at the numbers and you're
Yes.
paying 3 times the amount of what you actually borrowed,
Mm-hmm.
then you've been bamboozled.
Now, here's the thing. You would think that that was a person who had difficulty with getting a loan.
Yes, because their
You
credit must be bad.
Yes. I just explained to you a situation of a person who has an 800 credit score,
No.
credit, and they're paying almost 200% interest and didn't even realize it.
Wow.
And anytime you want me to show you, I can put it on the screen and we can go over that. I just don't know when it's time. This is your show. You just tell me what you want me to do.
Show me. I want to show me the money. Now you know how I am. I
Okay.
love figures. I'm a number girl. So
All right.
show me
All right.
the number.
Put it on there. Okay. Let me put this on here. All right.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So I got to click this. All
Mm-hmm.
right. And then um, let's see. Do this. All right. And this. Now, you see the numbers here?
I do.
All right. So here's a couple. They make good money. They've got a $350,000 mortgage, and that's a jumbo loan. And jumbo loans usually come in about 4.5%, right?
Right. Right.
But the rates got pretty good on us, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when the rates dropped, What do people want to do with their mortgages?
What, they think they want to refi?
They want to refinance and get that lower interest rate, right? So the average mortgage right now to refinance costs about $7,000 to $10,000. But they're going to save so much money on the back end. Now, here's what these folks did. They did this. They took some high interest loans because they had some equity. They rolled in about $20,000 into their loan, and then and cut out all of those payments, and they're saving overall over $1,000 a month in payments they don't have to make anymore. How about that? Okay, but here's what's happening. Are you still with me?
I'm with you.
All right. So now we're going to scroll down. Now they got a brand new loan, 3.5% interest rate, $350,000. And now watch this. This is what we call, this column is called cumulative principal. This column is called cumulative interest. In fact, let me make this a little bigger, okay? 1, 2. All right. You should be able to see these numbers really good now. All right. So we got cumulative principal and cumulative interest. This is how much on the very first payment. This is how much goes to principal. This is how much goes to interest on that 3.5% perfect mortgage with a perfect credit score. Okay. All right. So now when you add up all the principal payments for 1 year and you add up all the interest payments for 1 year, this is how much principal they pay off in 1 year, and this is how much interest they pay. Now watch this. Remember I said it cost about $7,000 that they borrowed? You know, their closing fee, they roll that into the loan. So the first $7,000 is right here.
Right.
It takes about 13 months to pay off that $7,000, right? Look how much interest they paid to do it.
Wow.
The first, now you borrow $7,000 and you pay $7,000 in interest. Isn't that 100% interest?
It is more
If
so.
if you borrow $7,000 and pay $14,000 in interest, isn't that 200% interest? And this is almost 200% interest on this $7,000 loan. How about that?
Wow, Don. And something like this, and what we're talking about right now is learning your amortization schedule. Because this amortization schedule, you know, when people close on their mortgages and close on their loans, they're happy to get that mortgage. They're not looking at their amortization schedule and how they can utilize paying off that interest faster so they don't have a 30-year mortgage and paying for that home 3 and 4 times over.
Exactly. Now, remember that $20,000 that they rolled into their loan?
Right.
Because they were paying off some high interest debt. And then the bank said, well, you know, the interest on that now is going to be tax deductible. So roll in those other loans into this 3.5% mortgage. But let me scroll down to $20,000. It's going to take them almost 35 months, almost 3 years to pay off the first $20,000. And how much interest are they going to pay on that $20,000? $34,741.85. They just took loans that were like 7%, 8%, 10%, even 15%, and turned it into 150% loan by putting this money into a 3.5% mortgage. And no one points that out but
Okay, so let me just summarize what I just heard you say.
yes.
What I just heard you say was when we refinance homes, right?
Yes.
Or buying a brand new home and you
Yes.
want to roll over existing debt into your mortgage, and that debt may be smaller in balance with a higher interest rate, but you're rolling it into a mortgage with a lower interest rate with a longer term.
Yes.
That you're paying significantly more on that debt to get rid of it, but you thought you were doing better because you used it into your mortgage.
Exactly.
I think I got the concept.
And this is why, listen, here's the thing. You know what's funny to me now? Because it didn't occur to me before, but it occurs to me now because of the gift that I have been given, is that you can go to your own bank who has you at a higher interest rate, and they will refinance you to a lower interest rate. Now, if you're saving money, doesn't that mean the bank would be losing money?
That's, you would think so.
Then why is your bank, who has you at a higher interest rate, so excited about losing money, giving you a lower interest rate?
I could answer that, but I'm gonna let you do it. Come on now, I've been in banking for 30 years. You know I know about mortgages, but I'm gonna let you do it. You're a professional.
Well, listen, the folks are going to have to call me because we don't have enough time to get into all of it. But when you lower your interest rate, you actually make it harder to pay off your mortgage early. When
and
you
and the,
lower
and the
the
strategy
interest
shows
rate,
you that.
yes, when you, and I can show it to anybody in an amortization schedule. All they have to do is go to pillmethod.com and request a free savings report, and I can tell them the month, day, and year that they're going to be debt free and how much interest they're going to save. And if they're thinking about refinancing, I'll run the numbers for them and let them know if refinancing is going to be good for them or more expensive for them. Listen,
Wow.
go to pillmethod.com and we'll run the numbers for them for free.
A free savings plan.
A free savings report. And then if, if they then want to know what how they can implement all of this using our computer systems, we're going to show them how the interest money that they save from the bank, they'll use that to invest in their program. How about that?
How about that? And then the money that they save from this program, you can also help with letting them know what's better, to either pay off a debt in an extended amount of time or use that time to build even more cash, like
What
cash accumulation.
what did I hear? Turning debt into wealth?
Yes, infinite banking.
Oh,
Absolutely.
listen, this is the most exciting thing to come along in a long time. If you're paying the we already saw that we're paying about 75% more interest than we need to, right?
Right.
If we're paying more interest than we need to, what do bankers do with that extra interest?
I would say that they invested.
Okay, you better believe they invested. That's why they're
Yeah.
investing. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you can cut your interest cost by 75%, and this is what this means. Let's say your total interest cost is $100,000. Okay, cutting that by 75% means you only end up paying $25,000.
Mm.
At $75,000, you no longer have to pay the bank now. The bank
Now,
is going to invest that $75,000, which means you can now invest that $75,000.
so Don, I got a question for you.
Go right ahead.
Can the average home do this? An average salary, maybe a husband and wife that's making about maybe 60, $70,000 each per year. Is this something that the average home could do, or is this only for maybe someone that has a higher income stream? How does that work?
Let me see if I can pull something up for you, okay? And uh, I'm going to stop the share here. Come back to you. You got me here?
I
All right.
see you just fine. You're good.
All right. So what we're going to do is pull something else up, and then I'll be able to answer that question for you. Okay. And so I've got that on the screen now. So we're going to pull this up, share the screen, da da da, and let's see, where did it go? All right, here's how we're going to do that. Okay, we're going to do this instead. Okay. and pull this up. All right, you got me?
I got you. I see your other screen.
Okay, client example.
Just your basic screen.
Okay, just my basic screen. Okay,
So reshare the other screen.
all right, I'll reshare. Okay, hold on. All right, so I got this. Okay, and all right, and then share. Application window. There we go. All right, you got it. You should have it now. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I see it.
Okay, so this is an average person. This is $156,000 mortgage. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now, after this couple has been in this mortgage for 5 years, and the interest rate is 4%. Okay, and these folks they make around 50, 60 grand a year. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now, in the first 5 years, they're going to pay this loan down by $14,949. Look how much interest they have to pay to get to there. They have to pay $29,000 in interest, because this 4% loan really means the bank wants them to pay back 71.870% of what they borrowed. In other words, if their loan was just $100,000 for 30 years at 4%, the bank would want $71,870 interest on a $100,000 loan. How about that?
And seeing what you're showing is if they stick to just the way their amortization is scheduled.
Right.
Just making their payments as the amortization says to month to month to month. I got you.
Right. So now here's what it looks like if they follow the bank's plan. They follow the bank's plan. The bank wants them to pay a total of $112,000 interest on a $156,000 loan.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's how it looks. Now you tell me which side you would prefer. Which would you recommend to these clients? Okay. Paying off $156,000 over 30 years, it would cost $112,477.46, or with the same budget, not sacrificing lifestyle, you don't need more money, you just need to pay less interest, or they can pay $28,000 to pay off the $156,000 in 6.7 years, just by following our computers telling them what to do.
Now, Don, listen, the key word you just said, or the key phrase that you just said to me was not sacrificing lifestyle. See, I'm coming to you right now from staycation.
And you know, I'm here working hard, and you out there.
I am poolside right now. I needed a weekend. I needed a weekend getaway. So I'm poolside right now.
Time, and I'm stuck in the office. You know that's not right.
Well, that's the main thing, is being able to get rid of those debts, strategically working a plan, right? And not have to give up the things that you love, like travel.
Right. So our clients are able to travel. Our clients are able to invest in their future and send their kids to private school. You don't have to choose.
Right.
Okay? All right. They're able, because of all the money. This is an $89,000 interest savings. They don't have to pay the bank. All right. And listen, they were going to pay the bank $112,000. They're now only going to spend $28,000 to get out of debt, all right, in 6.7 years. And guess what? The $28,000 includes the investment for a lifetime program. That's their interest and the money for the to have the program. You can't beat this with a stick.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Because look at the savings amount just between the two.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
$89,000, and you don't have. See, I I
I'm
get,
sorry. I laugh at you.
I get so excited because people deserve to know. Did you know that we have been paying loans back this way for 86 years? The amortization schedule is
Yes.
86 years old. How we've been paying these loans? The 30-year mortgages and 15-year mortgages are only 86 years old. And we've been virtually paying them back the same way for 86 years. Did you
You
know?
know, I
Did you
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Your mortgage professional who sold you your mortgage
Right.
doesn't need to know how a mortgage works. They don't take a test on it.
And I can attest to that because
Right?
as a banker, when I did refinancing and
Yep.
new mortgage financing early in my career 20 years ago, one of the things that we did was help them through their loan closing, close their documents for them, explain to them what their mortgage meant, their note meant, what all of those documents meant, gave them their amortization schedule and let them review it, but never really get into a big discussion about what their amortization schedule means
Yes.
and let them go ahead, and they're responsible for reviewing their documents, but at the same time they didn't give us the tools we needed as bankers to be able to help people with something like this.
I tell you what, the real estate agents, same thing.
Yeah.
They don't get that. All we get is how to get people into these loans, but no information on how to cut that interest cost down. We focus on interest rate, but what we should be focusing is on interest cost, because if we don't focus on interest costs, we will make huge mistakes in paying down our debt. Have you heard of the debt snowball system?
Yes.
Okay. Did you realize I had a guy call me up from Arizona not too long ago, and he makes good money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's a sales manager, and they sell solar panels in Arizona, and
Mm-hmm.
that's big. Okay,
That's big. Yeah.
it's nothing but sunshine out there. All right. So now, so he says, well, I want to get out of debt and I want to do this snowball thing. So he takes $40,000 out of the bank and pays off his car. The $700 he's no longer paying on the car, he's now going to roll that into the mortgage payment every month to pay down the mortgage faster. And
Okay.
and so I said, well, that's what the experts are teaching. Why are you calling me? He says, Don, because I saw one of your videos and I'm wondering if I did the wrong thing. So I said, well, let's try to figure it out. How much interest did you save when you paid off your car? You know what
That
his
was
answer
gonna,
was?
that was gonna be my question. I was like, hold up, how much interest did he save by doing that? But go ahead, answer the question.
He said, I don't know. I said, well, that's a problem.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, so let's figure it out. So we figured it out. He saved $7,700 in interest.
Okay.
But if he had put that money on his mortgage, he would have saved $90,000 in interest
Oh.
and knocked off 8 years. Okay.
Oh wow.
The
Okay.
debt snowball works, but it is very inefficient when it comes to managing interest costs. You're going to pay way more interest than you need to
Hmm.
following the snowball method if you don't have a program that optimizes interest savings.
So he just lost $20,000 that he could have.
Actually, he lost $80,000
Oh.
because he's got 7,000. And he could have had $90,000 in interest savings, about $82,000 he lost because of that. And this is what we call opportunity cost.
Yeah.
Lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can only spend that $40,000 one
One
time.
time. Yeah.
And he bought $7,000 worth of interest savings when he could have bought $90,000 worth of interest savings with that. You can't get it back.
Wow, wow. And see, that's powerful, Don. That is powerful. What you're explaining right now is just, I mean, it's education you just can't get.
No.
Education you just can't get. I mean, I went to finance school and we didn't have that.
It wasn't because we weren't paying attention in school. There was no class on it.
Yeah.
Anywhere. You get it here and only here. And this is why we are in 9 different countries right now,
Wow.
trying our best to keep up, teaching people that you have the right to know this. You don't need to be victimized anymore. And listen here, we have been so conditioned that
Wow.
with this idea that we have been brought into that idea of victimizing ourselves by following the dictates of experts.
Wow. Wow. You're getting some comments coming in saying, "Wow, I'm just jumping on. I need this in my life."
Okay. Well, listen, if they have some questions, I'll be glad to take them.
I know it. I know it. This is so powerful information, Don. And that's another comment that just recently come in. It's amazing to get that expertise, and the way that you learn this really is beyond measure. I mean, some things you look at numbers, and some people just can't put those sequence numbers together. But God bless you with that to be able
It,
to share it with the world, and it's just amazing.
it's God given. I can't take credit for it. But but I want to share it with the world. Average families, when they use this information,
Yeah.
save that interest money, we can show them how to become their own bank
Yes.
and grow their wealth for most of my clients are on track to grow their wealth to over $1 million using interest money they previously were going to pay to the bank.
So Don, let's talk about that. Let's talk about how we're able to take that money, because I've used the program, so I already know the inside scoop. I'm a little biased.
Okay, okay. All right, all right.
But let's talk about how you can use that savings money and to put it into other things that can definitely help you become your own bank.
I don't know why I'm even talking about this because you taught me, and now I got to turn around and tell others. But so I'm going to try my best to tell others what you have taught me. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right. So so if I get off track, you tell me. So here's the thing. All right. So if we have there is a point at which more is too much on anything. Okay. It's called the law of diminished return. Okay. Let me give you an example of the law of diminished return. Sometimes I'm left to do the laundry. And let's say I'm doing the laundry, and the directions say put a quarter cup in of laundry detergent. And I say, well, the clothes are really dirty. Let me put 4 cups of laundry detergent in there. More's got to be better, right?
No, your clothes gonna be sticky. You're not gonna get all the detergent out of them clothes.
Come on now. So here's what we're talking about. It's even the same thing with money. I had a client who has makes good money, and we had brought him down to $100,000 in interest left to pay, and he was going to get out of debt in 8.5 years. We brought him from $700,000 in interest down to $100,000 in interest. That's all he has to pay now. Okay.
Wow, that's powerful. Yeah.
All right. So he got a new contract. And with that new contract, with the information in there, the computer told him that if you put this money in here, that you're now going to be out of debt in 4.5 years. He was really excited about that until I asked him the question, how much extra interest are you going to pay with all of that money? He says, well, what do you mean? I said, well, you're already down to $100,000 left. I can't save you another $600,000. I can only save you part of the $100,000 you have left. So he went from $100,000 to $60,000 in interest he has now left to pay to get out of debt in 4.5 years. But
Okay.
it means that extra contract for the next 4.5 years means he's going to have to put an extra $300,000 in to accomplish that goal. $300,000 paying off debt to save $40,000 in interest. Or would you rather invest that money and make somewhere around 6% on that money? He
Makes a
said,
whole lot of sense.
it makes more sense to invest.
Hmm.
So there's a insurance product called an index universal life. And with this particular product, you can't lose money in a downturn in the market. Okay.
Correct.
That once you put money into it and you focus on cash value, you can turn around and borrow money out of that. Okay.
Exactly.
So let's say you have a cash value of $50,000 in this policy. Okay. And now your money is growing with compounded interest, correct? As your money is growing with compounded interest, it grows tax-free because it's an insurance product. What? Tax-free earnings? Now, when he wants to go buy a car. So he takes $40,000 out of the policy and buys a car with it. But does he take his own money out? No. He borrows the company's money out, and his money continues to earn not only compounded interest, but if there are any annual bonuses, he gets those too. So now, instead of paying the bank back for his $40,000 purchase, he sets up his own amortization schedule with a particular interest rate and pays it back to himself. So, in essence, he becomes his own bank, paying interest to nobody else in life except to himself for the rest of his life. And by the time he's ready to retire, he'll be able to pull out of that thing another $70,000 to $75,000 a year until age 100, not putting an extra dime in after that fact. What?
I absolutely love it. I
Wait,
love
wait,
it.
wait, wait. Did I mention he's going to be able to pull that money out tax-free?
But you know what? That's the thing that people don't get a chance to see. And they don't know that their opportunity for them to do that is there. So that's why they have people like you and I to help them with that.
Mercy, I just get, I, forgive me for just, spewing all this out here like this, but I need people to know you have the right to know, because we have a biblical mandate to put back funds for our
Yes,
children's children, and we can't do that if we continue to pay 75 to 100% more interest than we need to pay.
exactly, exactly. And then the thing is that when you are able to use something like this, a strategy like this, you
Yes.
can actually see the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of times you're just walking and walking and just thinking, okay, I'm going to pay this and pay that and pay that with no real end in sight
No.
of when you're going to be able to pay yourself out of debt, or how long is it really going to take for you to get out of debt. And then you're thinking, okay, but this is the way everyone does it. No, it's not.
No, it's
it's
not.
what it's what people think. They think that's what all people do, but there are strategies out there where people walk into their debt and they say, oh, I've learned a better way and I'm going to get out of this situation. If any way possible, I'm going to get out of this situation. And they get strategies like
Yes.
this strategy here, to
Mhm.
have a date and time all the way down to the month
Yes.
of when they will be able to get out of debt using something like this. In addition to that, once they have that key already set up and that strategy set up, now they have a game plan of how to make that cash accumulation and pay that interest to themselves rather paying it to somebody else.
Well, I'm telling you. So you're getting compound interest from the company.
Right,
You're getting yearly bonuses when they're available from the company.
right.
The interest you used to pay to the bank, you are now paying to yourself. Isn't that getting paid like 3 times?
It is. It is.
And
But you know what?
no wonder our clients are able to become the average family now can become a millionaire, and they can do that without sacrificing lifestyle. They can live well. I don't know if you can see that behind me, but the very first thing that we talk about is live an enhanced lifestyle.
An enhanced lifestyle. And
Go
that's what it's
on
all about.
vacation, do what you're doing, and have your money working for you. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, I'm right behind you.
You right behind me?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Let's do it. Let's do it. I love the strategy. I love the way the system works. And I love that we have the opportunity to help so many people, Don. So many people. We have some people pre-registered for this particular event, and we pulled a couple of those names because you have a free gift to give today. What are you giving away today, Don?
Oh my goodness. Let me back out of here. Let me stop sharing here. Put it on um right on the screen.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. We
Uh,
are excited.
all right. So let me do that. Okay. So okay, we're gonna do it this way. Okay, here it is.
Oh, look at
Okay?
you.
They'll get an autographed copy of the book.
I love it. I love it. And what is the name of the book, Don?
It's the Pill Method, a better way to eliminate debt. Do you know for the last month that this has steadily been in the top 10 on
Wow. And can they find it? If they want to get a copy,
Well, if
where do they go?
they want to buy a copy, they just go to Amazon.com and search Pill Method. Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. I love it. And I've read that book 2 or 3 times over now. So
Okay.
it's an
All right.
excellent read. Excellent read. Now, are you going to be autographing these books for these people?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. So we have two names here. We have Miss Charmaine Brown.
Charmaine Brown, you
We
get a
have Miss. You get a book, and you get a book. Yes, Charmaine Brown. And then we also have here. Oh, come on! This is Miss Chris Studdemeyer. Oh my goodness!
There you go, Miss Chris Settlemire.
She just made a comment here that said, "Hey, I need that in my life." So you're at the right place at the right time.
All right. Okay. So she gets a book too. All righty.
Oh
So
wow!
we just need addresses to make sure that we get them their book. Uh, it
All
will
right,
it will
and
be a signed copy from me.
wonderful. We have their phone numbers and their email address on registration, so we'll make sure we request a address for you as well. So that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Don, for being here with us today. And is there any other questions that you have for me?
Well, listen, I want to. Well, how if people want to know more about this, because there's infinite banking and IUL, I don't I don't have those licenses. What I do is I turn the information over, just like one of my other clients. I said, now we were able to see that he was putting way too much money into debt reduction, so he needs to put the rest into wealth creation. So I had him call you.
Right.
Did he end up calling?
He did.
Okay. And so
He
now
did.
you take it from there and set everything up so that we can now coordinate our efforts so we don't have too much money going into wealth creation. We don't have too much money going into debt reduction. We have the right amount and we work together on this to make sure people don't lose on either end. It's about optimization on all of this. Now, how do you help the people do that?
Well, like you said, one of the things I like to do is I like to sit down with them first and we do an analyzation of what is suitable for them, what we call a SAR. So we do a suitability analysis report. And that particular report gives me an idea of where they are in their lives financially. And if I'm working with you on a particular client, I already have a know what's going on in their lives financially because I already see all the information. I can say, oh, they're doing this. This is the strategy they're using. Now, how can we optimize that number wise? Because it's all about the numbers. It's not about opinions. It's not about ideas. It's not about guessing. It's all about the numbers. And so if the numbers say that this is the best way to be number one, debt free, and
Yes.
then number two, to be cash accumulated wealth building seminar above all other things, then we need to get together. And
Yes.
that's what we do. We team up on that. And so it's been an honor, and it still is an honor to work with you on my clientele, your clientele, and those that come abroad to say, hey, I want to do what you guys are doing. And I want to start off with this and then tell me what I need to do to get to that. So they usually just get in contact with me on demetriscurry.com. Of course, you know, I am the organizer for the Wave Tour. So there's another way to reach me. But if they can't reach me that way, they can always go through you, Don.
Hey, listen, that is perfect. Listen, we're all working together. Um, for in all seriousness, we're working together to serve people in a way that they have not been served before. They've
Exactly.
heard about budgeting. They've heard about this. They're warmed over information. But here's the problem: 90% of the people that they know will never ever be out of debt. That
Right.
is about to change for anybody who wants this information. You can keep doing it the old way, but now we can do it the new way. Don't be like the person that I met before that said, um, uh, 8-track tapes are coming back.
Don't
Yeah,
start, Don.
that's all 8-track tapes.
A-tracks are not coming back. I'm
They're not
sorry.
coming back.
VHS ain't coming back either. I promise you.
Come on now. VHS ain't coming back.
It's not going to happen. No.
Listen, so that the information we had about finance worked when it did. Now it's a lot better. Please don't be too slow to change. This thing is awesome. This is the best thing to come along in 86 years to actually
Yes.
understand how amortization works, how it's robbing your family of their inheritance. We need
Mhm.
to stop it and put that money to work for our families.
You got that right. You're going to get me start preaching. Now, you know, when you put me in that zone, sorry, don't let me go in.
Okay.
Okay. But
Okay.
that is so true. That is so true. You know, the one thing that I get a lot of questions on is how in the world do I save for my kids? What do I do for my grandchildren? How do I position them? You know, just small things like that. You know, like what do I do? And what if my children don't want to go to college?
Come on.
What if they want to buy franchises? What if they want to, you know, build an organization? Maybe they want to, you know, one day have their own Facebook. You know,
Right.
what do we do? And
Mhm.
so you have the opportunity to use these type of things, these vehicles, to make sure that your kids and your grandchildren have choices. That's what it's about. It's about having choices.
Yeah.
And the more that technology has gotten more and more advanced over the last 10, 15, 20 years, the more we have in front of us that we can use computerized tactics to find out what's the better way of doing things. How can we make things happen for us in a certain amount of time? So I'm thankful that we're in a position to use those programs and to show people plugging in their data to say, hey, these are the facts. You tell me what you want me to do with it.
Well, see, listen, there are not two or three things we can do to get out of debt. There's actually, when you take a look at all your options, there are millions of things you can do. And when you look at all your variables and do the math, if you just have 10 variables and every loan has at least 10 variables that we've identified, please go to pillmethod.com, give us a call, and I'll show you what those 10 variables are. We'll work
Mm-hmm.
together. You got 10 variables. That means when you get through arranging all of them, that's 3.6 million different ways you can arrange those variables, and only one of them is optimum. You need a
Mm.
you need a computer. I'll say it again. You need a computer to do all of that math to guide you like a financial GPS.
That's right. That's right. I like that. Financial GPS.
Right.
Yes, yes. And that's what I'm talking about, using that to our advantage. Well, I'm thankful that we had the chance to pull this together and talk even further about this. And if you have some questions and want to get that free report he was talking about, right? You
Yeah,
want them to go to pillmethod.com. Is that right?
that is correct.
All
PillMethod.com.
right, pillmethod.com, and go to that page. And if you know you just want to see what your finances would look like if you tried this strategy, he has a free report out there, financial report that he can get back to you based off of the information, the data that you enter. So make sure you take advantage of that. We're so excited, guys. Thank you so much for spending this day with us, Don. We
Yep.
appreciate your time and all of your wealth of wisdom.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Talk to you soon. Have a great one.
All right. Bye bye
Bye
now.
bye.